That is horrible. Welcome back to the Bobby Morbius review. Today we are talking about my most anticipated film of the year, of the decade, of the millennium, and that is Sony's Morbius. Just to start this off, of all Spider-Man villains to get a standalone movie, you have Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, the Lizard, Kraven. I mean, he's getting one now, but Kraven would be pretty cool for one. But before any of those, let's do Morbius. A Spider-Man villain who isn't much more than a living vampire. If Sony just wanted to make a vampire movie and make some money on it, I could get that. I mean, vampires are cool. We got the vamp anthems, but like, of all Spider-Man characters, Morbius. Even though I'm really confused as to why this movie's even made in the first place, we're here to judge the movie itself, not whether or not it should have been made. And how is the movie? This movie is not good. It's not very good. And you're gonna make fun of me, that's okay. I was kind of looking forward to this because, you know, I always like rooting for the underdog. You know, I've kind of viewed Sony as the underdog in the current superhero climate because they make pretty bad movies, but up to this point, they've at least been really entertaining. Venom and Venom 2 are two movies that they're not good at all, but they're really fun. They have a really fun lead performance from Tom Hardy. It's really campy, and it kind of has vibes of late 90s, early 2000s superhero movies that weren't good yet, but I found them to be in a charming way as opposed to something really drab and uninspired. And then you have Sony's Spider-Man movies, which outside of Spider-Verse ended pretty badly. I mean, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is not a good movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's a really fun movie, in my opinion. It's a movie you can watch and kind of laugh at, but as a film, ugh. So you have Venom, you have Venom 2, and now you have Morbius, and they're clearly trying to set up some kind of Sinister Six for a Spider-Man to fight. I mean, maybe they're gonna have him fight Venom. I really don't know what's going on at this point. But this movie is not good. There aren't that many ways to say it. It's not good. It's uninspired. It's drab. It's not entertaining. The action scenes are not well choreographed. They are a complete eyesore. If you thought the fights at the end of Venom and Venom 2 were a bunch of CGI garbage where you couldn't really see what was going on, those look like the airport scene in Captain America Civil War. Everything in here, even though the trailer made the action look kind of fluid and fun, it's not. The movie is literally a bunch of micro moments that are pretty fun, that are just long enough to make a kind of cool trailer. And the rest of the movie is just not it. Jared Leto himself is not nearly as bad as he was in Suicide Squad or the Snyder Cut, but unlike those movies where it was kind of fun to cringe, he's just kind of monotone Monica over here. He's a drab, he's sleepwalking through everything. I don't think it's as bad a performance as Tom Hardy in the Venom movies, but at least in those movies, he's going for something really campy and fun, and it's fun to kind of just be like, what the hell is he doing? And this is a bunch of Jared Leto being like, Dr. Michael Morbius, I am ill, I deal with blood. I'm trying to combine blood with bat blood to become cured of my disease. Like, it's boring, is what I'm trying to say. And all the supporting characters in this are even worse. I mean, Tyrese Gibson is in the movie to do nothing. All Tyrese does in this movie is go, and the love interest of Michael Morbius in this movie, it makes the relationship between Jane Foster and Thor look like the best on-screen relationship of all time. Zero chemistry whenever they're smooching or doing anything that's supposed to be romantic at all. I feel dead inside. But that's a common theme here. This movie is not living, unlike the title character. This movie is dead on arrival. It's boring. It doesn't offer anything interesting. And most disappointingly, the directing, the editing, I found to be completely poor. At points I'm watching this and just how poorly framed some shots are and just how awkwardly scenes are edited together, I feel like I'm watching a TV movie. But that might even be putting down TV movies too much. The one saving grace as far as performances go is Matt Smith. This dude is flamboyant. He has swagger. He eats up every scene. There's literally a scene in this movie where he's just dancing in his room or something, and it's so Batman Forever camp, and it's glorious. There are a few moments with this character that are actually pretty fun, but one that really pissed me off is when he went to a bar to go hit on some chicks, I guess, because Michael Morbius has a relationship, so he wants one too. So he goes to this bar and some dudes are beefing with him. So once they exit the bar, he's appearing on this one building and he looks so goofy. And I was so pumped for some gory deaths here. But he jumps down and you just hear screams and that's it. You don't see the scene at all. That's the thing. This movie, it honestly has potential. It really does have potential. But it never fully commits to anything. It just feels like a bunch of fragments that never quite come together. It's like
a girl never fully getting the. I'm sure Twisted Turd knows. Oops, Twisted Turd never got so yeah. But yes.
Speaking of gore, this movie has none of it. Morbius is the living vampire who drinks blood, and even though he can claw someone's throat open or do all these things, we never see it. And if there is even a little blood on screen, they make it dark and black so you can't even see it at all. So it holds zero viscerality. It has zero weight. I mean, you're making a vampire movie. We want to see Morbius drink blood. We want to see him cut people open. We want to see gore. Give us gore. Sony, why are you continuing to make PG-13 movies that feel so watered down? I wasn't the biggest fan of the Batman that came out a few weeks ago, but that was PG-13 and that felt disturbing and brutal at points. What is Morbius doing wrong? Why? To be fair, Morbius does drink some blood, but half the time he's drinking these bags of blue, disposable blood or emulations of blood. I forget exactly what they called them, but random points of the movie, he just goes. And there's one moment that I felt like could have really paid off, and it could have been a really dramatically powerful moment. Spoilers, if you care. You shouldn't care because you're not going to see this movie. Please don't see this. It sucks. It sucks. But there's a point in the movie, spoilers, where Morbius is basically forced to drink the blood of his girlfriend or whatever to become the monster to fight off Matt Smith. And that should be a really tear-jerking, powerful moment. But I just felt numb. I didn't feel the living vampire. I felt dead. There are also other dramatic moments that we're really supposed to care about, with Matt Smith's character and Dr. Michael Morbius growing up as kids and bonding with each other. We're supposed to care with this big final fight where they're battling against each other and Matt Smith dies. Spoiler, you shouldn't care. And it's this moment that is clearly going for cry. Another thing about this movie that really confused me, the score. At points, I actually kind of enjoyed it, but at other points, it's literally ripping off Batman Begins. It's literally the Hans Zimmer Batman theme. It goes dun, dun. It's what? I couldn't believe, Sony just blatantly biting Chris Nolan. I've been really negative. I've kind of torn this movie a new one, but there were points that I kind of enjoyed for sort of so bad they're good kind of moments. I thought in concept, the scene on the boat where he's tearing people up, it's a cool scene, even though you can't see any of the action going on. And there's a moment in the train where Matt Smith and Morbius are kind of facing off, and Matt Smith is just eating that scene up, having so much fun, and he looks really goofy. He kind of like vamps out in his face, and he's still wearing a suit. That's his costume. This movie's not terrible though. It's something you can watch. Like, you can put your eyeballs in front of it. It's something your eyeballs can perceive. But if that's the best I can give this movie, it kind of failed. And then there are the post-credit scenes, which, spoilers. So Michael Keaton was in the trailer, right? He's not in the movie. Like, he's in the post-credit scenes. There are two of them. One of them, he gets transported to the Sony-verse, the Venom-verse, the Morbius-verse. And because somehow the spell in Spider-Man No Way Home is now just sending characters anywhere, just randomly teleporting characters to wherever Sony wants. He's in the correct universe, in the correct prison in No Way Home. Why does he get sent to a different universe? I don't get it. At least in Venom 2, they said some weird stuff about, oh, there's this symbiote connection or something that we transpire multiverses. It's something like that. At least they tried to say something, but they just didn't give a f***. Like, they were just like, yeah, Vulture, we want him for this one. Bring him over. He's gonna be in Morbius. And then they let him out of prison because he doesn't have a record on that world, which, okay. But the real kicker here is the final scene where Michael Keaton's character flies out to Morbius in full Vulture gear, which, how he got that gear, who knows? But he flies out to him and he's like, hey, we should form a team to take out Spider-Man. I'm sorry, what? At the end of Spider-Man Homecoming, Adrian Toomes knew the identity of Spider-Man, knew the connection that he had with his daughter, but he protected him in prison by not revealing his identity to someone else. You're in a different universe. You're not going after the same Spider-Man that locked you up. Why? And on top of this, what motivation does Morbius have? What horse does he have in this race? He doesn't even know Spider-Man. Maybe he's in a newspaper that he read. There's no newspaper or reference to Spider-Man at all in the first part of Morbius, only in the post-credits scene. What connection is there for Morbius? I don't understand. Sony is so desperate to get people to watch their movies and to try to tie it in with MCU somehow. Adrian Toomes was literally only in the trailer to trick people to going to see this very subpar movie where he's not even in the movie. The poster of Spider-Man on the wall is not even in the movie. That's slimy. That's really shit of Sony to do. Don't deceive the audience that wants to pay to see your movie. Don't flip them off. Don't do this to people or they won't come back. If you want people to see Kraven the Hunter, don't deceive them like this. Don't put Spider-Man all over the trailer. At least the Venom trailers were very much their own thing. They didn't have to depend on Spider-Man. I really wanted to come out of this and be like, yes, you know that Morbius movie? It was pretty good. You know, it was pretty scary, had some fun vampire action. It was a good old time. No. No, no, no.
No. No, God, no. What the f***?
This is not at all what I wanted it to be. This isn't even a fun, guilty pleasure, really. There are moments that are pretty funny that I'm going to make memes of, that's for sure. But as a whole, it's really not worth the time. You can watch it on Netflix when it comes out, Disney Plus, but it's not really worth seeing in the theater. Don't give Sony the money to... Don't encourage them to make more of this. Encourage them to actually care and hire writers outside of the writer who wrote Gods of Egypt and The Last Witch Hunter. They just set themselves up for failure. But that's pretty much everything I have to say about it. Thanks for watching, everyone. I do appreciate it. Happy April Fool's Day. And Sorry, I have like a weird muscle cramp there. I don't know. Oh, Oh, not again. Oh, no. Oh, stuff's breaking. Oh! Woo! Okay. Sorry, I hadn't had blood in like 6 hours, so I had to recharge there. So I'm doing good now. That's a real thing in the movie. He has to drink blood every like 4 hours or something, and yeah, it sucks.
No!